Alchemist Line here. I'm just going to go over my progress so far and kind of let you know where things are at. So for the AFK part, I find my method probably might not be the best. Uh, I've seen a few people now with the cycling builds being slowly converted into damage, and the trick of kind of knocking them at the first into a death pit, or kind of killing them a bunch and then recycling what's left over. Those two strategies seem to be the best. But I'm still going to try to see what we can do with the damage. The main trouble that I'm finding is there's not enough damage from spawn to the amp to kill them with just straight tiles of ceilings and floors. So the floaty twine concept is kind of gone at this stage. You need to have kind of like a dynamo setup where you're shifting them and then lining these up with dynamos so they're constantly moving between the tiles and you're getting extra pieces that way. So I'm going to be trying to implement that more into these builds, still trying to keep it open, but at the same time diverting them over, because the gas traps alone aren't saving the day. The drop traps, most part, need to go. Some areas, especially where there's these lava bombs, you can't get rid of them, otherwise you're leaving open space. But they really do have to go, and trying to find a way to navigate that is really the only challenge in getting these things set up. As you notice, I am using more block off. This used to be open. I'm closing it up and trying to centralize the repathing. This is pit. This used to have here. I'm still trying to develop it. But basically, here's how we kind of do it up. And I use brick while I'm building just to see what I've changed. So this is all stuff I've done since I started the thing, just to see if I can path them certain ways, what traps work, what traps don't. This used to be a dynamo. I'm going to try to move it into a speaker, and this is kind of the method to my madness. So this will be a speaker, and you can't really hit them with too many speakers. The drops are already hitting them for one. These will be two. Another speaker would be three. So you're kind of limiting what you can do up here. But again, we're trying to get mostly damage. It looks like I'll be making a pathway, and I'm going to try to lead them down this way so they avoid all this stuff here that's going to be block off. And that means I can get rid of all these traps that I had in here from my old build. But I'm kind of keeping them in there right now as a failsafe. And I'm doing this in all the different builds, and I'm trying to make it work so that you can be AFK. There are people finishing it now using base with supercharged traps, so that strategy is working for people. And kind of what they're doing is standing back here with like a rocket launcher, and they're shooting. And that's in bases that are utilizing that concept of dynamos. And as they're navigating, I'm still going to try to find one that you don't have to use base for and you don't have to fight for. And I know that a lot of people are still working on that, but it's getting closer and closer. I'm finding a lot of people getting now to 23, 24, 25 AFK, where even yesterday it was like 15 to 17. So there's definite progress as we're learning the mechanics now, the new ways to utilize the traps, especially the cycling traps. That's huge. Being able to still implement them, but slightly. Yeah, but just kind of going through my builds, you'll see I implemented a couple rows of gas. So you still have a few drops, especially where those fireballs hit and you can't stop that. But everything else, we're kind of switching to these electric fields and gas traps. And then once that's done, you're turning into zappers and electrical fields. So you're kind of swapping out. You can see the front end of the tunnel is one way, and then the back end is another way. And lots more loot drop. So might as well collect while I'm still looking and try to go through this. You'll see here major changes, even to my lava, the gas traps and everything else, but there's still some work to be done. It's not perfect yet. I made sure to mark all my old builds old, just because they won't work in their current form. Some are still great. You'll still get far, but those drop traps really being nerfed has changed how I'm utilizing some of the other traps, and replacing them with those gas traps are quite key in this. I find the cash traps are highly effective, especially at the first stage of filtering, where these drops just aren't doing their thing anymore. And I'm finding electric fields are also a very good add-on to this beginning area. More things as I kind of refine it, but just kind of giving you an idea of where this progress is going. And the fact that cycling is still a thing. I'm not using it, but people are making it work, and it's kind of cool to see how the community's coming together. I highly recommend, if you haven't, find a community. I use Discord. It's a great place to throw ideas around and troubleshoot, especially when things like this happen. But we're at wave 11, no damage, fully AFK so far. As I said, I get up to about 23 in this current rendition, with my changes hopefully making me go further than that. And the main problem is, aside from like Nurse Husk's elements, I find pit and lava, just because they are a lot of front-end heavy, they're some of the more challenging ones. You see lava right now on a bonus wave. But eventually the Huskies do get through, and once things start to get through, they kind of all follow suit. So the later waves are very vital in getting that damage up, making sure that enough can be hit, and that if you have something like a healer, for example, a Nurse Husk, you can kill them. Where right now, without dynamos in play, I'm finding that's one of my main struggles. And so we're going to try to incorporate those now into this build. But so far this setup is working very well, especially with the open concept. But we're going to have to make some adjustments to make this work. Yeah, that's me rambling. That's me just kind of giving you an update of where things are at, trying to show you a little bit of what my builds look like so far, and just the process, because that's what this is. It's a bit of a process. Trial and error, see what works, bouncing ideas off of other people, and just trying to come together to defeat the changes that were made. I don't know why you'd want to cut back half your trap arsenal and restrict us that way. I think it's almost like punishing the community for overcoming the obstacles that endurance used to give. But at the same time, it's a new challenge, so it's kind of cool seeing what we can come up with these new restrictions. Yeah, hopefully this is informative enough to satisfy. I am working on it. Lots of people are working on this to try to get builds out there that people can start running Twine Endurance for. The good news is all the other regions, Stonewood, Plankerton, Canny, they're all good still. You can AFK those easy. Jail builds, still a thing. They did not change that. All they basically did is make it that you don't use traps. You can stack your constructors, or you can just use a heals build and increase building health trap. And basically use power base to keep it going and just heal. And you'll notice that this is lava on the bonus wave. It is starting to break, but it is surviving. But those are the things I'm trying to iron out. Well, that's it. Thank you all for your patience, and catch you again soon. That's all for today. Hope you enjoyed. Hope it was helpful. Thank you very much for watching. If you like what you're seeing, you know what to do. Have yourself a great day, and catch you around.